name is Jorge Castillo. I am 39 years old and I am from San Juan, Puerto Rico. I am a digital artist and I specialize in art direction and 3D concept art. I started in 3D art way back in the day in 1998. Ever since I was a little kid, I used to draw on paper things I saw in comic books, in movies, or ideas that I had, but I always kind of struggled with it. It didn't came naturally for me. And then suddenly I discovered this world of 3D art, and suddenly I found a medium that where I could express myself and I could translate these ideas in a quicker fashion. So at that point, there wasn't many software available to do this, so I started getting my hands on anything I could and downloading 3D assets from the internet and just animating them and just trying out renders and stuff like that. And suddenly I found this whole new world of possibilities for me. And I didn't train formally for this or anything like that. I actually studied engineering, and I actually worked as an engineer for a couple of years. But I spent night and day just training myself for this, and just kept practicing and kept doing art until at some point I had the opportunity to basically jump ship and do this for a living, and it's obviously it's the best choice I could have made for me, and I really enjoy doing this. It's one of those things where it's both a way to express creativity, it's a way to relax, and it's a way to to inspire other people also with the art you make and create new things. Currently I'm using Maya and V-Ray for rendering, and Photoshop and some After Effects for compositing and to color correct images. Sometimes I use also ZBrush and World Creator 3D to sculpt rocks and terrains and stuff like that, and those basically are my tools right now. My main sources of inspiration, I try to get inspired by by anything around me, anything from nature to books to music or stuff like that, but the main sources have always been like sci-fi and fantasy. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, a huge Lord of the Rings fan, huge Harry Potter fan. I clearly remember way back in the day when I was a little kid and I first saw a gigantic space battle in Star Wars, and it just blew my mind. And I knew back then that I had to dedicate my time to creating stuff like that. I mean, it just brings me so much joy, and I see that in other artists out there also. And seeing other artists being inspired by those same things actually also inspires me to do better. And seeing all the amazing artwork I see every day on Instagram and on social media, it like literally just blows my mind the amount of talent that is out there and the quality of the work that they're putting out. I started on Instagram, I think a couple of years ago, like 3 years ago or something like that. Like started posting artwork, but I stopped. I didn't follow through with it. I didn't have much time back then, and to be honest, at that point I had stopped doing 3D art, and I was doing more like actual concept art paintings and illustrations, and it took too much time for me to make them. But then recently, at the beginning of this year, I switched back to doing my art mainly in 3D and experimenting with new workflows. And so in a way, I restarted again in January of this year, and I'm very happy with the results so far. My goal in Instagram, I mean, other than just putting my art out there and having people see it and enjoy it and stuff like that, I really want to give people, something that when they see it, they can't. It sparks something. It sparks either an emotion or something in their imagination, something where they can take that and then go out and create something on their own. I think that's the most where I get the most satisfaction from is anytime someone approaches me and says like, hey man, you inspired me to do something, like I want to learn some new software, I want to learn some new technique or something like that, and I like taking the time to help them and teach them. I actually taught 3D art in a university a couple of years back, so it's something that I really like to do, to actually help out people and help them discover both their talents and their abilities, and to help them expand that creativity. And if I in any way help anybody out and I put my small grain of sand out there, well, then it's all worth it, and it makes me very happy. And to everybody out there, thank you so much for your support, and much more to come, and just keep creating. Bye.